Yo, what's good? Welcome back to Nxt Gen Amolytics. Today I'll be covering the NBA. This is my first video covering the NBA this season. However, I will start to post these at least 1 to 2 times a week in line with my NFL and concept videos. I do post my picks on my IG at Nxt Gen Amolytics. However, I would like to post my analysis and my logic behind why I'm taking those picks. So that's what this video is for. On today, I will keep it a little concise as I want to get this out before the game start for you guys. So let's get into it. Starting out, I like Donovan Mitchell's points. This morning, I had him at 26.5. I'm not sure if that line changed or not. I will check that real quick. But I like this. His usage is over 30%. He's shooting very efficient this year. Going against this Washington defense, who's bottom. Let's look at it. They're the second worst defense in the league behind the Brooklyn Nets. Mitchell is shooting well from behind the arc, and he's been over this 26.5 line all but 2 games this year. They played 7. He didn't cover that against Boston and Milwaukee. In those games, in that Milwaukee game, at least I can say they do have a rim protector being Giannis. And so he had to have it going behind the arc, and he didn't. He went 1 for 8 in that game. And then the Boston game, he went 5 for 9 from 3, but only shot 5 shots that game. I'm pretty sure they were getting blown out for the most part in that Boston game, so that may be the reason there. But I do like him over 26.5 here. Washington doesn't have anyone to guard him. He's shooting well behind the arc, as I said, and he can get to the basket against them. Let me see if it's still 26.5. So it's still, you still can get at 26.5. That's on FanDuel. So I like that for Mitchell here against this Washington defense. And then what also I like here is because you always have to play the potential blowout idea there, but Cleveland's offense as a whole is bottom 10 in offensive rating. They're actually 22nd in offensive rating. So I'm not necessarily worried about Cleveland as a team-wise, their offense blowing Washington out, But Washington defense is bad, as I mentioned. But I believe Cleveland's offense can allow them to stick in this game for a little bit for Donovan Mitchell to get his points. And what I like about these tournament games is the point differential matters. So, you're going to keep pressing on instead of taking out starters. And I like Mitchell in this spot. Next up here, I like Jamie Jacquez of Miami, over 14.5 points against the Charlotte Hornets. In a game that's going to be very fast-paced. Both these teams are top 6 in pace played, Miami being number 1, Charlotte being number 6. He just saw them on the 28th of October, in which he scored 28 points with 9 of 14 from the field. I believe this 14.5 number is way too low. I think they're taking into account his game against the Clippers and the Spurs, in which he scored 6 points each in those games. However, what I noticed about those games is that he's facing good rim protectors. You're not going to go at Wemby, and Zubac's a pretty good rim protector himself. And he doesn't shoot at volume or is good at shooting threes by any means. He's 25% on the year with averaging 1.6 threes taken each game. So he's looking to get to the rim, and he can do that against the Hornets, in which I believe they're 15th or 16th in points allowed in the paint. I see an uptick in usage for him, in which Bam is out. He's already 3rd in usage on the team behind Bam and Powell. So you take Bam out of the equation, his usage goes up. And this, as I mentioned, this is going to be a fast-paced game. I believe the total is at 234.5, and Miami's a 7.5 favorite. He's coming off the bench. He's leading that bench unit. I believe that Miami also has a top net rating of a bench unit across the NBA. So he's doing quite well leading them, and I believe that continues in this game. Lastly, here I like Shia Gilgeous-Alexander over 32.5 points against the Sacramento Kings. On the road here against a Kings team that is bottom 6 in defensive rating at 117. Shea just faced them on the 28th of October, in which he scored 31 points. However, he only got to the free throw line twice. I don't see that happening again against the Kings. I do believe the Kings offense can keep them in the game for a little bit here, in which they have an all-right offense. I'm not going to say they're great by any means, but they're not horrible, and they can score the ball, especially at home. So I believe that they can keep them in the game for a little bit for Shea to get his points here. And I believe also that he plays at least 35, 36 minutes against the Kings. And also what I mentioned earlier with Donovan Mitchell, same thing here. The point differential matters, so I believe his leash is a bit longer on tonight against the Kings. But those are my 3 player props on today. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. Let's go.